Joining us now, Republican Florida Congressman Mike Haridopolos. Thank you so much for being here. Congressman, from what you're seeing, do you view what happened on Mar-a-Lago, this security breach, as security success or very concerning regarding vulnerability on the property?
Well, I think it's a success. I mean, law enforcement does a remarkable job protecting our president. As you know, fortunately, he was not there. But I've been on Mar-a-Lago's property so many times, and it's so impressive what the Secret Service and local law enforcement working in concert with each other do every day to protect our president. Because not only does he face the threat by land, but by sea as well. And so the president is in good hands, but there are people who are disturbed out there. It's a very violent situation we have right now in politics, sadly. And I'm so grateful for the wonderful work done by law enforcement.
Yeah, the suspect reportedly made it 20, 30 feet onto the property. Does that raise red flags to you about the perimeter of Mar-a-Lago? Should there be tighter security there?
Well, it's my understanding that, of course, when the president is in residence, there's a little bit tighter hold there. But this is a vulnerable situation. As you see from the pictures before us today, Mar-a-Lago is in a very, let's just say, public place. It is not an isolated area. I know you cross the bridge, can see the entire property from the backside. That's why it's so essential that we have a great plan of action. But again, I have full confidence in the Secret Service. They have upped their game clearly since 2024 because the threats come from here, let alone around the world as he travels to make peace deals throughout the world.
You know, you brought this up, and I want to follow up on this. Should Americans be concerned about the broader threat to our government officials?
Unfortunately, this is the sad reality we face. I know even when I'm back in the district, we face different challenges for people with making different types of threats. I travel with a lot more security than I have in prior years. It's just the nature, especially with the tragedy of Charlie Kirk, let alone, of course, now 3 potential attempts on the president's life that we know of. This is the sad commentary. This is why I try to take down the temperature. It's important that we try to find common ground. Like, obviously, today, a great day for America in the sense we won the gold medal for the first time since 1960. I'm sorry, 1980 and 1960 in hockey. But look, this is why we all need to take a step back. You know, let's have real, thoughtful conversations. As a U.S. history teacher, that's what America's at its best when we're unified. Hopefully, we can take a step back from this chaos, and these people who are gone over the top can take a second look and to take a breath and realize we're all Americans.
Yeah, you know, we should be talking about that OT win over Canada, and we're talking about this, and you're right, it's unfortunate, but it's where we are right now. Does this incident change how Florida officials think about protecting high-profile residences in your area? We know there are, in addition to the president and first lady, several celebrities who live over there. I mean, that stretch of property right between the Intracoastal and the ocean, there are just some, it's already secure, but somebody just walked onto this property last night.
Well, again, that's the challenge we face. We can't put ourselves behind bars. We can't put ourselves in just a concrete bunker. We want to be among people who put us into office. We want to have that public interaction. We can't be isolated. It's so important for me to get firsthand opinion about what's going on and what people are thinking and what their ideas might be. These are the challenges we face in this modern society. Fortunately, Florida has the best law enforcement, I think, in the entire country. I know my own Sheriff Wayne Ivey is always looking out, Sheriff Flowers in my area as well. These people recognize that there are increased threats around the world, especially when people get ginned up by a lot of the hyperbole on the internet. And we need to really be vigilant and keep our eyes open. But these are the threats we face in this modern society.
All right, speaking of internet hyperbole, this just in, Attorney General Pam Bondi posting on X, and I quote here, stick with me for just a second. I've been speaking with President Trump and coordinating with our federal partners throughout the morning regarding the intrusion and shooting at Mar-a-Lago. Grateful that POTUS, President of the United States, and our law enforcement agents are safe. You know, this is pretty, the rhetoric has kind of slowed down a little bit here because we spoke with people earlier who said, you know, it's because the Democrats are saying this and, you know, look, we've seen threats to law enforcement for quite some time. Typically 4,000 to 5,000 threats made a year, right, to a president. We're seeing 10,000. With this current administration. So how are you seeing security really having to increase? And what does this mean for the American people?
Well, unfortunately, these are the realities. Again, when I go back to the district, we have sheriffs around me just to protect me because of the threats that do come in. It's again, I think it's still responsibility on us, the elected officials, to tone down that rhetoric. When you heard terms like Nazis thrown around way too often, you're undercutting what civility is all about. And America being the great debating society, which I take pride in being a history teacher myself at the college level, it's important that we take down the temperature and talk about the facts and not allow this to digress into these terms that can incite people to crazy actions like we saw last night in Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, kindness matters. Republican Congressman Mike Haridopolos, appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica.